After that magnificent trailer we received last year, was 28 years later really worth the watch? Let's get into this. I watched the film last week and here are my honest thoughts about the film. I thought this was a good film. I know that there has been a lot of mixed reviews on this film, but I'm going to break down my reasons why I think it was a good film and how this film is going to be setting us up for the sequels to come. The film begins with the scenes that we saw in the trailer. The young family watching the Teletubbies just before everything goes crazy. There was only one young survivor from that moment. He runs to the church to try and find his father, who seems to have just given up on life and is ready to be infected. He gives him a chain and tells him to have faith. This young lad is hiding whilst his father becomes one of the others. 28 years later, we see that there is a community of survivors that seem to be doing really well. Things are thriving. They've got systems in place, jobs for people to do. We are introduced to Jamie and Spike. Jamie is Spike's father and it is time for Spike to go out and get his first kill. Isla, who is Spike's mum, she is not doing very well. She seems to be going through a lot of confusion and disorientated memory loss, but we are going to find out why later on. As Spike and his dad embark on the mainland, they are faced with a type of infected that I'm going to call the slow-mos. They are very slow and the way they feed themselves is by eating worms. Spike gets his first kill by killing one of the slow-mos, but asks his dad to have mercy on one of the baby ones. So we see that these infected are able to reproduce. During this time, they do encounter more infected, especially ones that we now know are called alphas. These are types of infected that seem to have a bit more of a heightened intelligence, whereas the rest of their pack are raging. This alpha is standing still, staring, whilst he sends his minions to go down and eat Spike and his dad. They manage to get away from them and hide in a house. One of the infected is hanging upside down with Jimmy carved into his chest. What is going on here? This is letting us know that there are people that aren't infected potentially, because the infected wouldn't have time to be carving Jimmy in anyone's chest. They're out here trying to get food. Do you think they have time to be carving in chest? I think that was our first clue that there are survivors on this mainland. They do manage to get cover, but we see that this house isn't doing very well. They are taking refuge there. They need to get back before the tide comes in, else they will not be able to cross that road. We know that when the tide rises, the road disappears. That path that leads them straight to their community will be covered in water, making it more difficult to cross. The alpha is waiting for them. He knows that they are in that house and he is not going to let them get past him. Unfortunately, the chimney drops in on them, so they have to leave. They start making their way to that road. The alpha, he is massive. The infection has definitely taken a different effect within him because he is fast, he's moving, he is strong, and he is running right towards the community. Spike and his dad manage to get to the gates. They are showing them their eyes, letting them know that they are not infected. Fire flames are thrown at the infected alpha, which takes him out. Phew! Just in time. I really thought it was done for them. They are back in the community. There is a massive party for Spike celebrating his first kill. His dad is adding a little razzle dazzle onto the story. Even Spike is looking at him and trying to say like, I didn't, do all that. His dad is not having it. We can see that these guys are going wild, having a good time. This is the moment that we see things start to crack between father and son. Spike follows his dad to see him engaged with one of the ladies there. This shatters Spike. Spike is absolutely horrified at what he sees and decides to go straight home. Spike speaks to one of his elders, lets him know about what he saw whilst they were away, lets him know that they did see a fire. This fire is probably from the doctor. There are a few people that have decided to live out in the mainland as opposed to the community. So this isn't something that isn't unheard of. The following day, Spike confronts his dad about everything that is going on, and he tells his dad to leave them alone. Jamie is obviously shocked, but he respects their wishes and leaves the house. Spike creates a diversion, allowing him and his mum to get out of the community and go to the mainland. Spike is on the search for the doctor. He believes that the doctor can find out what is going on with his mum and hopefully cure her. Listen, number one, Spike, who do you think you are? Number one, you've been out on the mainland for 2 seconds. Now you want to drag your mum over to see doctor. Are you prepared for this? Are you ready? Spike, hey. We saw that these soldiers have been through it. There were 8 of them. Now there is only one. His name is Eric. Eric saves the lives of Isla and Spike. Spike finds out a bit more about what is going on outside of the UK. As Eric is speaking to Spike, he's mentioning things like delivery drivers and phones. But remember, Spike, he doesn't know any of this. He was born into this world. As Eric, Isla and Spike continue to walk the mainland, Isla hears the cries of that infected pregnant woman. She goes onto the train and can see the woman is in agony. It's so strange because in this moment, Isla and the infected held hands as she was going through labor. It was a really strange moment. In this moment, it didn't matter whether they were infected or not infected. It was just human to human helping one get through. And as soon as that baby was delivered, she was back to her raging self. This is where Eric took action and took her out. Eric even wanted to take out the baby, but they could see the baby wasn't infected. Eric was so insistent, but just as he's about to do it, we see Eric is gone. He is gone. Oh, goodness gracious. The Alpha is here and he is livid because these people have just taken his child. So we're seeing that these infected, they do have emotions. It seems like maybe over these years, they have developed in the sense of, well, maybe not developed, but they're going back to their human side. So could it possibly be that there's a cure? Could it be that after a certain amount of time, the infection wears off? I don't know, but we see that they are reproducing, they're being hygienic, and they have feelings. Although he was very, 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 very angry, he had reason to be because he sees that his wife, his lady, his child, they are now gone. As they are running away, we see the doctor has saved them by shooting some iodine into the Alpha, which stops them for a short amount of time. The doctor discovered that the infected do not like iodine, so this is what he uses to deter them. During this time with the doctor, he explains why there are so many bones. This is where we see the bone temple. There are so many people that have perished due to this infection. It's his way of remembering them. It's a memorial to all those that have died. All their bones are placed within this temple. He explains death to Spike. After examining Isla, the doctor breaks the news to Spike to let him know that unfortunately it is cancer and they won't be able to treat it. Isla and the doctor have a conversation. They put Spike to sleep so that the doctor can do the same for Isla. She knows she hasn't got a chance of fighting it, and this is the easiest way. This is very tough. Imagine you come to see this doctor hoping that he can help your mum, and the doctor gives you your mum's skeleton to put on top of the bone temple. I mean, the way that he explained death, letting Spike know that this, unfortunately, it's a part of life. It's something that happens to everyone. Having that chat gave Spike a different perspective on dealing with the death of his mother, a perspective where he was able to embrace it and remember his mother's love. Spike makes his way back home, and just as we think that he is going to be reunited with his father, we learn that he left the baby with the village, that is baby Isla, but he's taken himself back to the mainland to live out his life and find out what else is really going on in the world. He wrote this in a letter to his father, and you know that he is livid. Can you believe your 12-year-old son is out on the mainland living life, doing what he wants to do? But Spike, he feels like he's been lied to and he wants to find out the truth for himself. Spike is getting used to his new surroundings. He's even cooking some fish, but just then, before he can even get to enjoy his fish, we see an infected. He manages to take them out. But remember, these infected, they don't roll solo. There are too many of these infected, so he starts to run. Spike reaches a block, and just as things are looking really bad for him, we see someone with blonde hair, a tracksuit, come out of nowhere and introduce themselves to Spike and ask if they can help and assist him with these infected. They take the infected out absolutely with no issue. They in fact look like they're enjoying it, to be honest, with their tracksuits, their ninja moves. They are going for it. In the hand of Jimmy, this is where we see the chain. This is the chain that his father gave him at the beginning of the film. Yes, this is the same Jimmy, the young lad we saw at the beginning where his family was infected and his father gave him that cross. He has held on to it for all of these years. After the crew take out the infected and we see they have introduced themselves to Spike, this is where the film ends. Wow. Let's get into it. I know that I think the ending more than anything else has had a lot of mixed reviews. I posted my quick 60-second review on TikTok. You can check that out. But I want to highlight some of the comments that were made on that post because I think it really explains the ending. Jeezy1up left a comment basically asking what was all that at the end, and we got a response from Mads who broke it down to a T. What Mads is saying here is that they have gone through psychological trauma and you're having to survive all of this time by yourself. You've seen how the world used to be, you see what it is now, and you're holding on to things that made you happy in those times. So all of these things are memories that they're holding on to even in adulthood. It's probably a way for them to deal with everything that's going on psychologically. They haven't fully developed. Yes, they are adults, but in their minds they are still the children that went through that horrific experience. So when I saw the ending, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought, what is going on? But then I realized all of this is to set us up for the sequels. Remember, Bone Temple is coming in January 2026. So the way I looked at this was just a brief introduction to these characters, and I'm hoping that we're going to see the backstory of how Jimmy survived all of that time leading up to these 28 years. How did he survive? We saw the beginning of his story. We haven't seen the middle, but we've seen him link up with Spike, which, how do I put it? I was happy for that link up, as in, yes, Spike is not going to perish here. But at the same time, when you've got people dressed up as Jimmy Savile that have gone through such traumatic experiences that look like they're really enjoying this violence, you do have to kind of worry there a bit. Is Spike in good hands? Is he better off being with the community, or is he better off being on the mainland with this gang? We're not going to find out until 28 years, the Bone Temple. So for me, yes, it was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? But I knew that this is only the introduction to these characters, because we're going to probably see them in Bone Temple and get more context, and then this will probably make more sense once we see that. I'm going to give it 10 boys out of 10. I thought the cinematography was beautiful. The way it was shot was beautiful. I did like the storyline, but Spike, really? You just came out here and now you're ready to go out there? No, sir. Overall, I thought it was fantastic. The acting was brilliant. Also, I forgot to mention, there is a website that has given us some bits from the 28 universe. I think some of these bits are going to be tied into the Bone Temple as well, where we're seeing emails, messages, audio recordings from the team, giving us a bit more information about what is happening outside of the barricade in the 28 universe. So check that out. I will leave the link to that down below. So if I'm going to rank all three 28s, it would be number 1, 28 Days Later. Number 2, I'm going to give it to 28 years. And third, I'll give it to 28 weeks. We love all of the 28s, we do. That would be my order so far. But let's see where Bone Temple comes in. What is your rank? What would you rank the 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years? What's the order for you? That is my review of 28 Years Later. How many boys out of 10 would you give this film? Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you are notified anytime we upload. I will catch you in the next review. Dunno, boy.